Bom dia a todos e todas novamente. Vamos agora, então, oficialmente iniciar. Peço desculpas aí pelos minutos a mais, mas primeiro a gente sabe que é quase uma cultura brasileira, mas também a cidade, particularmente hoje, está, eu acredito que tem sido para todo mundo bastante tumultuada, né? Eu mesmo demorei 15 minutos para conseguir um Uber que me trouxesse para cá. Então a gente sabe que tem vários colegas ainda chegando, mas vamos iniciar a nossa discussão, entendendo o nosso passo e agradecer a presença de todo mundo.
Nivea Black and White Real Madrid, o anti-manchas número 1 do mundo, com ação superior.
Especial por tudo que nós ouvimos, de todas as realidades dos estudantes, dos professores, dos gestores, dos pesquisadores, dos governantes em todos os níveis, municipais, estadual e federal, né? E acho que efetivamente a gente dá esse passo dentro do que se constrói no Brasil e retomando agora e talvez entrando um pouco mais em detalhes do que é algo que eu já trazia ontem, mas de um Brasil que a gente sempre precisa se lembrar de um ponto, um Brasil que tem um tamanho continental, um Brasil que é muito grande, que é muito diverso, né, e isso eu acho que ele se ressalta no que é o nosso foco de hoje de manhã, que é ter uma troca internacional e entender como outros países têm trabalhado, têm feito a sua caminhada. E eu me sinto absolutamente uma pessoa privilegiada em estar aprendendo com esta realidade, né? Porque por estar envolvido no movimento global da década do Oceano, no programa de Cultura Oceânica com Todos, que é liderado pela Francesca Santoro, mas também, como, né, dito na apresentação de ontem, estar presidindo o grupo de especialistas em cultura oceânica da UNESCO, que é um grupo formado por 20 profissionais de diferentes lugares do mundo, de diferentes setores da sociedade. Ele é um orgulho gigantesco, porque ele é o grupo mais diverso dos quais eu já participei. Nós somos diversos no gênero, nas gerações, nos setores da sociedade, na atuação, que tem gente do setor financeiro, artista, jornalista, pesquisador, educador, governo, é muito diverso. E essa diversidade ela nos traz muito riquezas, nos traz muitas riquezas, mas eu sempre me pego pensando nesse ponto que eu vou convidar todo mundo que também fique pensando hoje. Nós vamos compartilhando as nossas experiências. Mas assim como na nossa vida, quando a gente diz algo sobre nós, é com base na nossa história, na nossa realidade. Não necessariamente se aplica ao outro. E algumas coisas não tem certo ou errado. É você construir o melhor na sua história. E hoje nós vamos ter a possibilidade de ouvir muitas histórias que são incríveis. E que muitas são diferentes. Eu tinha conversado, uma das palestrantes que a gente vai ter agora, eu vou até antecipar isso, né? Eu tinha falado com ela, deu até autorização para fazer a comparação. Nós vamos ouvir agora de manhã a experiência de Seychelles, com a Vitória. E quando eu estava conversando com ela essa semana, ela me deu um dado que eu não tinha, mesmo sabendo já, eu não tinha. Seychelles é um país que tem 100 mil habitantes. A Escolas do Brasil tem 110 mil estudantes. Percebe que assim, e isso não faz um ser melhor ou pior, mas assim, são realidades diferentes, porque muitas vezes ser um país pequeno traz muitos outros desafios. Mas a gente tem que ter isso em mente quando a gente está comparando. Nós estamos comparando questões diferentes. E não é, aliás, não é nem por comparar, porque não é para comparar, é para se inspirar e para conhecer. Acho que essa é a riqueza da diversidade em todos os seus níveis, e não vai ser diferente em conhecer os casos que a gente vai ouvir. E com isso dito, vamos iniciar, então. Eu acho que na primeira nós temos duas rodadas, né? A nossa primeira rodada de experiências internacionais, eu gostaria de convidar para compor aqui, então, a nossa mesa de discussão, a Pilar Muñoz, que é da Universidade de Valparaíso, no Chile. a Daniela Piedra, da Fundación Amiguitos del Océano, do Equador. A Vitória Alice, que é membro, como as colegas do grupo de experts e do Youth for Climate Seychelles, de Seychelles. E o Afik Fami, da Universidade da Malásia, Terengganu. Estou certo que eu falei errado, Afik, me perdoe, mas... E... provavelmente, para facilitar... Uma dúvida. Are you going to speak in English? I guess it's better because the translation... Então, para facilitar para todo mundo, caso quem precise, agora eu vou fazer o seguinte, para não ficar põe e tira microfone, eu vou passar para o inglês, não que o meu inglês seja bom, que daí facilita um diálogo único aqui, não precisa ficar eles pondo e tirando o microfone toda hora, tá bom? That said, I need to change a button on there. So, thank you so much. The group of experts in ocean literacy is been here through the week. We had our presidential meeting. The group is 20 persons. We are half of the group here this week. There was also Daniel Boy McDonald that was here yesterday, and he left today because he had another meeting. But it's been really a pleasure to share with these guys. Just before we start, I will ask one minute more, and eu vou voltar para o português. Eu quero voltar, desculpa interromper, mas acho que é algo importante. Eu quero voltar para o que eu vinha falando antes, em nível global, como a diversidade é importante. E algo que nesse movimento a gente priva em todos os níveis é a gente ter essa conversa e essa construção o mais diversa possível, o mais inclusiva possível, porque todos nós aprendemos com isso. Quem me conhece do universo das discussões globais sabe que eu sempre digo, sou chato, eu luto muito por isso, como a gente inclui os diferentes países, o norte e o sul global, que o sul global tem que estar mais representado, a gente não sei, isso é uma escala. E a diversidade, a equidade, a inclusão, ela passa por muitas escalas. A de gênero, a gente sempre buscado trabalhar, as regionais, as dos setores da sociedade, mas o que eu interrompi aqui agora, porque não era particularmente pela mesa, eu queria destacar um outro ponto que muito nos alegra e nos orgulha de aprender juntos. Ontem nós conhecemos vários dos jovens embaixadores e várias escolas azuis do Brasil. E hoje vocês vão conhecer mais para o final da manhã um outro caso de um profissional, do Eric, que eu não vou mencionar agora, mas eu queria mencionar e agradecer a presença do Eric, que tem estado aí, que é um estudante de mestrado. Obrigado, Eric. É um estudante de mestrado surdo, que tem trabalhado em como comunicar o oceano na linguagem de Libras. Então, se vocês repararam, na verdade, nós estamos fazendo esse evento em 3 línguas: português, inglês e Libras. E aqui meu agradecimento aos tradutores de inglês, aos tradutores de Libras, por permitir esse diálogo múltiplo. Mas a gente acabou de ter, e por isso que eu interrompi um pouquinho a sessão, um outro momento que nos é especial. E se me permitem, colegas, trazer isso. Brasília inaugurou esse ano a sua primeira escola pública bilíngue. Bilíngue, português, Libras. É uma escola toda para a comunidade surda, né, para crianças surdas, em todas as idades. Do maternal? É do maternal? Do maternal até o EJA. E com a nossa alegria ainda, essa está se tornando a primeira escola azul do Distrito Federal e a primeira escola azul bilíngue para a comunidade surda. E nós temos o prazer de ter estudantes e professores da escola aqui conosco hoje, nos acompanhando pela manhã. Então, muito obrigado pela presença de vocês, muito obrigado por nos ajudarem a aprender e nos ensinarem agora nesse processo desse diálogo multilínguas também. Então, reconhecendo a importância da presença dos colegas também, iria agora para a nossa mesa. E para a gente iniciar, eu vou convidar, vamos começar pela América do Sul, um pouco mais próximo da nossa realidade. Então eu vou convidar a professora Pilar Muñoz, da Universidade de Valparaíso, no Chile, para... sorry, Pilar. Now come back to the English. I'll invite Pilar to share the experiences from Chile. Thank you, Pilar.
Hi. Hola, buenos días a todos. I'm very glad to be here, and I come to share the experience of Chile. And from what we saw yesterday, we're far behind, but all of that Brazil is doing gives us a lot of hope to what we can achieve. So Chile, when we imagine Chile, we see it as this long piece of earth, but Chile is so much more than that, because Chile was built, has been influenced by the ocean since the beginning of this, when the tectonic plates came around and produced this long country that is almost falling down the America. So in Chile, where all of the indigenous people have a relation, have an inspiration with the ocean. Most of the important economic activities in Chile are fisheries and also aquaculture. We have salmoniculture. We have a lot of ports, a lot of art inspired, and even, well, in the Nobel Prizes, we only have one kind of Nobel Prizes, that is the poet one. And our poets are inspired also by the ocean. So the ocean is everything for us. It was in the beginning, but then we really forgot about it. And there are many theories why Chile got away from the ocean, why we as Chileans started to look at the mountains and not the ocean. But through several activities, we've been trying to reconnect the Chileans with our ocean, with our sea. So one of the first things that we started to do is to create immersive experiences. Those are VR videos about our ocean. So for example, there you can see what we called a kelp, Guiro palo, and that kelp is so important because that is the second kelp most affected in the whole world by the extraction. So it's only from Chile, and nobody knows that. And also I like that picture, even though the filmmaker didn't like it, because it represents how in Chile the waters are full of phytoplankton. And you see all green, and the filmmaker said, it's not good because you cannot see clear, but that is the wonderful of our waters in Chile. They are full of life, full of chlorophyll, full of phytoplankton. So that was more related to the art and to the heart of the people, but we've also been working in the institutions. So in 2023, the Chilean Oceanographic Committee asked us, several people related to the ocean, to establish an ocean literacy working group within the National Oceanographic Committee. And that was also groundbreaking, because this committee is well, it started with the Navy, and then there are, you see, all my colleagues, they are more like serious, and all the working groups are more like normal science, like from littering or oceanography. So that is also a very nice step that we took, that is institutionalized the ocean literacy in Chile, following the ocean literacy group of IOC-UNESCO. So, well, I work in a university, and I saw that you also have these online courses about ocean literacy. So we developed in Universidade de Valparaíso a free course for everyone. You only have to have only you only have to breathe to take the course. That is the only requisite, and it's about the 7 principles of the ocean. And then you do it. You follow a set of modules. It's in Spanish, but I love it because I brought the ideas, and the designers made it so nice with animations. And everyone that finishes it gets a degree of the university. So it is also a nice opportunity, because this is not for scientists, this is for the people that work in tourism, this is for the children, this is for the artists that want to know more about the ocean, and also for the teachers. So, well, I'm a marine biologist. That is where I work, in the marine protected area Montemar, and I am a marine biologist because I love the ocean, because I love to being there, to smell the ocean, to hear the seagulls. And so another thing that we're trying to do is to promote the outdoor learning. And this is, for example, this is a guide that show people how to explore the intertidal zone and how to look at the species, and also not to be so invasive. And we have this in the marine protected area, and it's free from everyone, so they can be amazed by our coastal zone. And also the last thing that we do, we're working in different steps, using different institutions, and we're very lucky because we got in the new curricular basis, there was an open call to put new information, new concepts, and we made it in the project to put a lot of concepts about the ocean. Now the project has to be voted, but at least we got the ocean and tsunamis and wetlands and other concepts to be in the new curriculum of Chile. So we are very lucky with that. So you see, now we have been able to restore a little bit of the blue of Chile that we were missing. So what is next? You see, I'm very hopeful for, we have here a neighbor in Latin America of what we can do, and we must still be working. If you want to look at the VR experiences or take a look at the course or download the book, I also have it here if you want one. You can follow us at Cultura Oceánica 360 on Instagram, and there are all the links. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Pilar. And I think you have, well, you all, but I've been following more closely what Latin American countries are trying to do for obvious reasons. So I guess we have a lot to consider to do a Latin America, strengthen our bilateral partnerships, but also some movements like we already have Relato. There is one network that integrates educators for ocean, but even saying about international relationships, I guess even our countries have a lot to work more together, and we build this Latin America identity. Yes. Thank you, congratulations for all the work there. And then from Chile, we should go maybe to Ecuador then, and I will invite Daniela to share her experiences.
Hello. Well, first of all, thank you so much for having us here. It's been a pleasure to be again in Brazil in my case. My name is Daniela. I represent a non-profit organization called Amiguitos del Océano, which I think it's pretty similar to Portuguese. You can get it. After Ecuador is 5 times more times ocean than land. We are more recognized by Galapagos Island, but we have so much more in our mainland coast. And we need also to work not only in our island identity, but also in our coastal communities identity, which we have a lot. So Amiguitos del Océano is a movement, it's a family, it's a way of engaging coastal communities and skits and other. Oh, you have, dame el este. Gracias. And we try to foster ocean literacy, but also through not just educational, but also outdoors and field trip experiences, personal experiences. We're very linked with one community especially that is called Ayangue. And we have this Ocean Literacy for Coastal Communities program, which is also endorsed by the Ocean Decade. After COVID, we used to have another kind of experiences going into the public schools in coastal communities, but COVID was very tough, and we wanted to also experience what was going on in one just community and work with all the sectors that integrate that community. So this program is aiming to foster not just ocean literacy, but reconnect people with the ocean in a holistic way, in a very ludic way, remembering our ancestors that we have also forgotten. So in this program, we have a lot of projects. I'm going to try to summarize a lot of them. Everything is aimed that this reconnection makes sense for every of the sectors that integrate the community. So in every process that we held with every kind of sector and beneficiaries is very unique and very tailor-made for them and for their sector and their identity. So we have work, and we work with the tourism sector. This is very important. Ayangue community is 2,500 people. It's it's a small community, but they are very linked into the ocean because of tourism and fisheries. They are part of this marine reserve called El Pelado. So for them, making more sense why it's important to build up and restore this relationship with the ocean. It's something also that it involves their culture and also their economic and social issues. So also, besides the tourism sector, we have also worked with the artisanal fishermen, and we are very well known in Ecuador for our eco clubs, which is also an ocean literacy non-formal workshop for kids, and it's 11-month. We work with these kids with every cohort for every year with kids, local kids. We have also been working in the Gulf of Guayaquil of restoration of mangroves. There is a very special area there, and we also have eco divers with the help of the Embassy of France, which it's very crazy. I can say that more than 10,000 kids that we have been working on, 65% of them, they don't know how to swim, and they are just in front of the sea. So Ecodivers is also wanted to build and restore this connection through, sports. So we teach them how to swim and also how to snorkel, and they go explore their marine reserve. And every month they also help us to do this clean up the bay of Ayangue. And we also are working in climate change through composting. So we have a community composting. After COVID, we also realized that there was very important, and we were very interested in doing a methodology. This is called ESRA. It's Explore, Feel, Reconnect, and Act. Every project that we held in our program is based on this methodology, and for each phase of this methodology, we have indicators. So we were very interested in seeing not just how many people we could reach with our projects, but what was going on with them. What are the difference of changing behavior, their relationship, their knowledge, and their sense of place with Ayangue. So it's been great. We have a lot of data here, and we are very willing to also share this knowledge and methodology and the process with the scientific and non-scientific community. So we're thinking of a paper later on. These are some of the results. We have been working with benefiting more than 9,000 people. Most of them, as you can see, are kids, and it's very balanced. But more than these results, we have been really happy to see how these processes have been changing our community. And for me, it was very, very heartfelt yesterday when I saw and I listened to the kids saying their experiences, because that is something that is also happening in other worlds. So in another part in my country. So it's very nice to see how the ocean is really connecting already. Listening right now to Pilar also made me think how the example of Brazil is going to be a very, this is the for the Faro, the, how do you say Faro? I don't remember. The lighthouse for South America and other places. So big congratulations to all the team that have been, and this has been taking time. And also because of our experience, we will start looking for the Ministry of Environment and Education, and we also have been able to be inserted in this curricula in Ecuador. So last year we were able to include ocean literacy in the National Strategy for Environmental Education, and after that, thank you. And after that, we also have been working in the updating of the curricula, inserting some of the concepts, and making more blue or greener curricula, because there is a lot of movement there, but we need to restore our blue connection. And this is one of the examples that after the kids finish the Eco Club, they create a project for their own community to implement for the next year. So I don't know if you can please put the video. Thank you.
Thank you, Pilar. Gracias a todos os amiguitos. Eu acho que são... sorry, I think...
Mi nombre es Saraí Romero y este es mi compañero Mario. Dos somos decididos a cambiar el futuro de nuestro océano.
Imagina un futuro donde haya más plástico que peces. He sido pescador desde niño. Me duele ver cómo nuestra playa se llena de basura.
A mis 15 años, no quiero un mundo donde un océano nos mire con tanta tristeza. Hemos tomado acción. Desde 2021 hemos hecho 42 limpiezas donde hemos recogido 958 kilos de basura junto con la ayuda de la comunidad.
Pero no es suficiente. Este año lanzamos el proyecto Punto de Intercambio Allangue Limpio. Alquilamos equipos deportivos a los turistas a cambio de que limpien nuestra playa.
Así es, reducimos la cantidad de residuos en el océano y educamos a nuestros turistas para crear un impacto duradero.
No estamos solos, queremos inspirar a más jóvenes a hacer la diferencia para nuestro océano y sus próximas generaciones. ¿Listos para ser héroes del océano? Únete a la marea del cambio. Hagamos ola juntos por un mañana sostenible.
That is not para amiguitos.
Okay, so now, yeah, sorry, I didn't. It was great, Daniela, and I think that the video shows this, and all the steps you do. I mean, every time I'm seeing what other countries in Latin America are doing, there is such a lot of passion and love, and you can see some things that are regional of our culture in the way we can integrate that sometimes are completely different from other regions because we have our Latin American style, and I do suggest for everyone that we try to strengthen those links. We have a lot in common. I always say that I see much more unity at Europe, North America, okay, only 2 countries, Africa. They always give us a lot of example of how they strengthen together as a region. Pacific, but with Caribbean, we always see they understand themselves as a region. And South America, sometimes we need to work on that. And I guess ocean literacy brings us an opportunity for this. Thank you so much. Gracias. And from South America, we can move then now to the Pacific area, to other side of the world, and understand how cultures that are somehow more different than ours are also working, doing very similar, nice work, and understand if they're diverse. So I'd like to invite Professor Afik from Malaysia to show his, Perdão, pessoal da organização, eu mudei a ordem e nós vamos para o Afik agora, Thaís. We invite you, Afik, to your presentation. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Good morning, bom dia, selamat pagi. Okay, So my name is Afiq Durrani. I am from Malaysia. Although we are different, but I think we look quite similar, the same. So my how I started with ocean literacy, or at least the movement became what it is today, is because I am a lecturer in microbiology. So things you cannot see, things that are very small. And what I learned from it is when you are small, you work together, you get things done. When you are small, you multiply and you get things done. And this is how ocean literacy started in Malaysia. Well, we started small because for the most part, it is driven by the youth, by the young people. What do I press to? Right. So in Malaysia, let me just give some context. We are located in South China Sea, or on the south of Asia, basically. It used to be a maritime nation. It used to be the main port of the world. This is where trading used to happen back then, and still does. But the Straits of Malacca, I hope there's no Greek people here because that Malacca means something else. But the Straits of Malacca is where most trade happens, where the herbs and the trades from west and the east, they meet. But now we have, so to say, lost a bit of our appreciation for what the ocean brings us. So we can see Singapore is there, we are on the south, Thailand is on the north, but now we have lost that visibility too in the world. I'm pretty sure not a lot of you know of Malaysia, and we are split into two parts. And because of that, our sea area is actually larger than our land area. And our coastline is around the 29th longest in the world. Funny enough, we don't do anything to manage that coastline beyond security. We don't do, the municipality doesn't encourage cleaning up, or it doesn't encourage workers to actually take care of the beach and take care of our coastlines, which is changing now. So Malaysia is known as a touristic area, and even this is, I took something from the tourism board. We are multicultural. There is a lot of mix of race of people. There's indigenous people who are very linked to the rainforest, who are very linked to the ocean. But even in this, you can see that we pride our rainforests more than our seas. And the best thing that we pride for is our food. So if anything, you come there, you will be fed very, very well, whether it's seafood or from the forest or from agriculture. This is what we always communicate with. And we do have pristine beaches. We do have brown seas. We do have very clear blue seas on the islands, especially. We have turtles that come and land in our beaches. We have a multitude of different marine environments here, just in Malaysia, not here, there, in Malaysia. So, but everything that comes in the news lately is bad news. It's about plastic, it's about cleaning up, it's about what you see here, turtles being trapped. That is a hermit crab with a plastic on its back. Where it used to be a shell is now a plastic, which is why when I ask my students who are marine biology first years, what do you see your world as right now? And how would you represent your movement? And they came up with this, which is a hermit crab with a home on its back that is made of plastic. But the hope is for this plastic to be changed again to a shell, right? So this is entirely, I gave them a prompt and they came up with that idea. They even crocheted it, I think this is crochet, and made it. And this is why I tell them every time you go out to speak, you take them. And today this is my turn, so I will take it too. And show this is their work, represent them here. So we, together with the youth, we reimagine plastic waste from beach cleanups that is constantly being run by NGOs, by the student clubs. We decided what next? It can't just be cleaning up all the time. So we acquired some funds. We worked with some companies, Uniqlo. They sponsored us a machine where we take the plastic, we upcycle them and make into different products. This is not a brand new idea. This is happening around the world. But the fact that we are connected to the Sustainable Ocean Alliance Malaysia, we managed to grow this idea together, not just for the state, not just for the university, but for the region, and it's a global movement. From that, they learned that not all plastics can be upcycled. So that's why another student just decided, I wanted to do something because I love crocheting so much. I want to turn plastic bags into something new so that it doesn't end up back in the ocean. And with her project, she managed to empower a whole new community, not just from the students, but from mothers, single mothers around the area. And they crochet together, learn skills together, exchange skills together. They raise money for marine cetacean NGO within the country. So the point is, even though you start small, when you multiply and you link together, you exchange skills, you get a lot more impact, a lot more things done. And moving forward, like, we also empower youth through ECOP. And in Malaysia, we are quite new with the movement. So far, we have linked together and decided, like, okay, it's not just the community that needs to be pushed forward, it's also the science and the research. But most times, the youth don't have their voice in these big conferences, big forums. I'm so happy yesterday to see you guys, the students, have a spot on the table to talk directly to the ministers. That is not common. So over here in Malaysia, we want to start practicing doing that. We give them a whole forum just for them. The lecturers, the seniors, go there to listen, not to talk, not to speak about their research, but let the students, the first years, the third years, the master students, the PhD students, explain their research, explain what they want to do, how their research is going to relate to the community and have a bigger impact. So we made it free for people within the country so that we encourage the youth to come. And then we've collaborated also with the French Embassy in Malaysia, where we want to move beyond marine biology. We collaborated with designers, app developers, computer software. We call them into the ocean, create Ocean Hackathon. They created Ocean Hackathon, where we collaborated together and worked towards a solution. So in the first year, I joined as a member. I gave a project. I did not win, but it's okay. I came back next year to be a coordinator. So in the following year, they didn't want to do a hackathon to produce a product. They wanted to produce games for the youth, to encourage more people to come back to support the ocean. So this is unique to Malaysia, the project with French Embassy. We collaborated with a few different universities to have multiple competitions and then have a winner from Malaysia. And the winner is about to be announced this weekend. But I know the winner, but I cannot tell you right now. But yeah, you can still play this game. It is available online. If you look at, if you search for French Embassy in Malaysia, in the website, you can find them and download them, and you can try it out for yourself. But because of the small movements of the youth, the excitement that they generate, the passion that you see across different fields, we've attracted the ministry. We've attracted people who saw us, who have important voices, who now understand there is a need to support this movement. So because a few years of, maybe 4 years into the youth movement, the Ministry of Natural Resources started to approach and ask, what can we do to help? As of now, they have confirmed to establish the National Committee for Ocean Literacy. So different from Chile, where you have the committee first and then you move with the activities. We started with the activities first, and then they were like, oh, we need to put this together, make it look nice. So yeah, so the ministry decided to establish that. In parallel, the Ministry of Education has approached and said, we want to do something for the national curriculum. They're revising it now and have called us, the scientists, the youth, to come in and say, what do you need? And we have established that the ocean is what we need, and that is going to be put into the blue curriculum by 2027. So it's a bit late from the target, which is 2025, but it's happening and it's coming up now. And with the Blue Schools Network, I'm super excited and happy because yesterday I saw what you guys did, super inspired. We've been wanting to do the same thing, and we've had a chat with the network, and now we will be able to launch it in May, where we will start the first 4 modules, which is coming together. It's more on taking the youth out, recognizing what is living in the beach, in the mangrove area, in the seagrass meadows, in all the rich different environments that we have. Learn about the biodiversity, learn how to preserve them, and have a library within their school that is not just books, but a library of living things, or specimens of recently dead things. But that will become a standard. That will become a standard for their school, so that they will have an exhibition. They will invite other school children to have a look. They will invite other schools to come in, and ministers and teachers to come in and see this is their own work, and they get to showcase this is from their environment, preserved properly, as scientifically accurate as possible, and then link it to the national database. So that is what's coming up in the future for Malaysia, which is to summarize more organization. But what we see in the natural movement, in the grassroots movement, is super exciting, and there's more and more things coming up. There's performances of traditional music and traditional dances that are now being put back together in related to the ocean. So I hope you will come to visit us soon, and you'll see for yourself. And if not, please come and approach us. We will work together and provide a global movement for ocean literacy. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I love the idea of understanding the environmental activities as a live library. I think it's a really important moment. And you know, regarding the target timing, I mean, the targets are important. Of course, they give us a way back, but we shouldn't be stick to that. And things are happening there. So I think we are all great. Thank you, and congratulations for all the work there. And as our last presentation to this session, I would like then we go now, as Afik also said about the importance of the youth. I guess you listen from a youth as well, a youth professional, and I would like to invite Victoria Alice from Seychelles, and she will also bring us a view that how she's working that really related to the climate. That is the main topic from our forum, that is thinking about climate change and climate resilience, as we heard yesterday from Rio Grande do Sul, all the work they are also doing there related to climate and climate resilience. So it's sometimes, of course, we bring ocean as our main topic, but ocean can be also the way where we reach other things. One of the examples is the climate. You can come from the climate view and just understand the role of the ocean. Ocean doesn't need to be the main actor or actress all the time, but it can be the supporter actor or supporter actress. Please, Victoria, share with us your experiences.
Thank you, Ronaldo. Very good morning, everyone. It's an absolute pleasure and privilege to be with all of you here today, seeing how all of you contribute and are leading the way in ocean literacy. So yeah, just really proud to see Brazil taking the lead on ocean literacy on a global scale. So as Ronaldo mentioned, so I'm from the Seychelles Islands, and I will briefly kind of give an overview on Blue Education initiatives back home, but also focusing on a particular project that I'm directly involved in, which is called Mainstreaming Climate Education in Seychelles National Curriculum. So I will focus on that in just a bit. But before I dive into Blue Education, I just want to give you a bit of context. So Seychelles is recognized as a small island developing state, but I normally people tend to not know where we're situated and what we look like. So we are an archipelago. We're 115 islands. I like to describe Seychelles as a large oceanic state, because if you see, so normally if you look at a map, we don't even appear as a dot. We're just like Seychelles. So we don't even, people think we're just like a little island in the middle of nowhere. But actually, if you look, there's a black square, and in there there's a white outline. This is the size of Seychelles. This is the size of South Africa, right? We are a large oceanic state. With 100,000 people, so I think Ronaldo had mentioned that, we're a very small population. And we have 1.35 million square kilometers of ocean area. So basically, over 99% of the country is water, right? And 1% is land, for just 455 square kilometers of land. And our home is just a few meters above sea level. So more than 90% basically of our critical infrastructure, so our roads, our energy, our airport, our schools, residential areas, it's all on the coastline. So that's why I try to take pictures. So what you see is where I come from, Mahe, the main island, and you can really see everything is on the coastline. So we're extremely vulnerable when we talk about climate change impacts, and we can't talk about ocean protection without bringing in climate mitigation and climate adaptation. And for us, the priority is climate adaptation, right? So it's without saying that the ocean is crucial to Seychelles, and it underpins our economy, which is tourism and fisheries, our culture, and our very own existence. And I think just wanted to highlight that of this whole area that you see in white, 30% of that has been protected. 30% means the size of Germany. So we've decided to protect the size of Germany, of our EEZ, but that means that there's a lot of work to be done in education, and surveillance, and maritime security. So yes, there's a lot of work to be done. What I wanted to highlight in terms of, so now that you have a bit more context about Seychelles, I just wanted to flag a few things that are happening back home. And I think it's important, we don't have a traditional blue curriculum per se, but there's a lot of things that contribute to ocean education and ocean literacy. And some of the things, a common thing between these different initiatives, which some are led by NGOs, and some are led by the government of Seychelles, so the Ministry of Education. But we're really trying to take an experiential learning method. So we're not trying to just look at theoretical knowledge, but we're trying to tackle ocean education through creativity, through gamification, so that we really try to engage the youth in a way that is just not in the classroom. I think for them to appreciate their surrounding, to appreciate the natural environment, they have to be in there. Even now, there's still a lot of kids and adults that still don't know how to swim, or that have this fright when it comes to the ocean. Yet they're surrounded by the ocean. But there's still this negative connotation when it comes to our marine environment. One of the things, so the Eco School program, and I feel like a lot of countries have this Eco School program, and it's something that actually started back in 1993, so it's over 20 years old. But essentially, it encourages young people to engage with an environment by allowing them the opportunity to actively protect it. So it starts in the classroom, and it expands to the school, and eventually it fosters change in the community at large. So because when we say eco school, a lot of time we think about projects around the schools, and it's more like green initiatives. But here we really the idea is to take the kids out to remote islands, to places where they wouldn't normally appreciate. So it's really getting them at this, exposing them to the natural environment. The Barrier Project is another initiative led by an NGO. And this particular one is trying to take the scientific knowledge or scientific toolkits and translating it to something that's digestible for kids. So again, looking at education lessons, fun games, drawing sessions, so really taking a creative approach to things. What happened 2 years ago is there was also an initiative led by the Department of Blue Economy, And here we developed a sustainable ocean management course for 12 to 13-year-olds. So that's now been integrated in the lower secondary class. And that was really a huge milestone for us, because it's the first time that we actually looked at our formal curriculum. So a lot of the time, again, these initiatives are more extracurricular. They're more like short-lived projects. But for the first time, we're like, okay, we actually need to review our curriculum and see how we can concretely integrate ocean literacy concepts within our framework. So I'm proud to say that we have that in place. And it was a government-led initiative. Unfortunately, and that's something I will talk about in just a bit, but they weren't able to go to phase 2, and phase 2 was going to expand it to other classes. And the reason why they haven't gone to phase 2 is because they were saying the teachers were feeling really overwhelmed with what they were already managing. And I think that's a huge lesson learned. I think when we're looking at the curriculum, the idea is not to add more work and not to like tire out our teachers, and they're already overwhelmed with what they have to do. So it's really trying to adapt materials and trying to create a supporting environment for them. So yeah, I think that was a huge lesson learned, and we're trying to adopt that in our own project. So the project that I'm leading with 2 other youth, so this is not part of an NGO, it's really as an individual that we're doing this. But essentially this mainstreaming climate education in Seychelles national curriculum, the idea is to enhance Seychelles Ministry of Education efforts to mainstream climate education. So it's to recognize that the Seychelles is already doing a lot, but we want to really amplify what's being done, and we want to formalize things. So here it's basically a project in partnership with so the Ministry of Education, the Eco School program, and Climate Science. And Climate Science is an international organization, and there are the experts. So we're basically linking various experts and stakeholders, and we're here as facilitators. And yeah, the idea here is to really empower teachers and to give them relatable and action-driven content. So in terms of the outcomes, we want to build capacity, and we want to, as an outcome, we want to adapt and co-create appropriate cross-curriculum resources and training. So when we talk about climate education, climate literacy, we automatically talk about ocean literacy in our context, right? The two come hand in hand. So yeah, you'll see a lot of climate change, climate science, but it's all related to our coastal adaptation, our nature-based solutions, our blue carbon ecosystems. And the approach that we've taken, so we've just finished, last year we finished a series of consultations with teachers. And again, taking the lesson learned from what happened in the past, we realized that we really need to integrate teachers from the very, very beginning, and identify the challenges, the gaps, and from there, really try to get them to take ownership of this initiative, because it's there to help them. So we have a stakeholder consultation report, and from there we will start developing the materials in further consultation with the teachers. But essentially, we really want to take a whole school approach. So we're, again, here as facilitators, but we want to make them understand that they have such a vital role when it comes to influencing behavior and forming the next generation of ocean ambassadors. So yes, so the project should be ending at the end of the year, but it really strengthens the link and making sure that we don't see climate change in a vacuum, but that we really make the link between ocean resilience, climate adaptation, and climate mitigation. And that was it in a nutshell. I was trying to keep it very brief, but yes, thank you.
Thank you, Victoria, and thanks so much, because I think that as the other presentations, such inspiring things, and I want to highlight a few things. First, this point where we need to build with the teachers, it's not for the teachers. I think they will implement it day after day, so they need to be heard since the very first moment. So building the process is really important. The second thing I want to highlight is, as I mentioned when I introduced you, is, and I want to say that to all the colleagues here from Brazil, is particularly, is that we need, when you show the different movements that are already going on, they don't usually come from the ocean, or like the eco school, but we can work together, and we can, like we were discussing the example of Rio Grande do Sul, we can just, it's not who is the main actor of the move. Sometimes that when we have a movie winning the Oscar, and congratulations to we still are here. The move can get it because it's not doing the main actor or actors in the move. It's the full thing. So the ocean can be not need to be always the main one. So that is an important thing. We need to look in our regions, in our realities, what are other movements that are already done, strong, and work with them, and not start some always from the zero. Of course, it's not always easy, but it's a very powerful pathway as well. Thanks for highlighting that and bringing the experiences from Seychelles. And as I mentioned at the very beginning, this is just one example with four from the Global South, and I'm so glad we have a Global South roundtable here. I want to also highlight that. Examples in how in a group of experts, imagine 20 of us, it makes us been learning the different approaches, the different realities, trying together with UNESCO, understand how can we work it at the global scale. So from the very local to the global, to get a global perspective, we need to understand all those realities. And again, I always like to do this comparison, because when I come back to my country after our meetings, I say, wow, if I particularly compare with Victoria, I always need also to be thinking on that, like we saw yesterday. We had here schools, children from the middle of the Amazon, 1,500 kilometers from the ocean. We have the others that are living just by the sea. But in another reality, we have others from the south, the very south, where they can get 0 degrees during the winter. And so how can we should have, and unfortunately they were not able to come, but from the central area of Brazil, from Pantanal. So how can we really scale it up at the national level? I think we need to be considering always that. So thank you so much, Pilar, Daniela, Victoria. I think it was a great session. We will continue as we are doing. We will not have a moment for questions now, because we are going for our coffee break, and we can have the questions and can interact with them there. We have been doing that in all the sessions. So we discussed during the coffee break. Thank you so much. As we are trying to recover a little bit our time from the Brazilian style that we started half delayed, I would ask if we can do a 15 minutes coffee break, and then we come back by 10:45 to start the second table. Thank you so much. Thank you, guys.